Good news, everyone. Nintendo's figured out how to market and advertise stuff. According to reports, well, it's not just reports, it's online. There is going to be a Nintendo Switch Super Bowl commercial. That is a commercial during the big game. I like how the NFL forces everyone to say that instead of Super Bowl because they have that word trademarked, and they will sue your ass if you use it even to advertise Doritos at your local supermarket. I'm not making that up. But this is a good move for them, obviously, and something I suggested a while back. I don't remember there being any mainstream Wii U commercials. I said this before, it's a broken record. I remember seeing 3 or 4 commercials in total, like the Christmas season of 2012, but after that, nothing for the Wii U. So moves like this, it's not cheap to get a Super Bowl commercial, but it's obviously worth the $20 million or so, $30 million, whatever it is, to push the product out. It absolutely is. Because, again, everyone's watching the Super Bowl, and it's not just, hardcore sports fans that watch the Super Bowl. It's like the new national holiday. Kids watch it. Everyone does. Families, even if you're, if you don't like the Super Bowl. My pal, 8-Bit Alley, a couple years ago, came over from Australia, and she was visiting, and, I had to keep Frank away from her, but, she enjoyed watching the Super Bowl. So the commercials are such a big part of it now that if you're not a sports fan or Super Bowl fan, you may scoff. Oh my God, well, that's not going to do anything. No, it's going to do something. Trust me, it's going to get a buzz about it because these are people going to be advertised to that haven't thought about Nintendo maybe in the last 15 years. Now, if they had the NES Classic Edition, oh my God, and advertised that during the Super Bowl, you'd probably sell 10 million if they had them in stock within a couple of weeks. But this is great, and the commercial is pretty good. I mean, it sort of hits on the fact that this isn't a kid's console. It has, again, that like 25-and-a-half-ish person, happens to have their own nice place. It's all clean. They're kind of hipsterish, but, they're kind of average, but they're still good looking and stuff and attractive enough to, So it goes from the handheld, playing Breath of the Wild, to boom, into the dock, and then the screen lights up. I think that image alone is important because I think that's very key to the marketing of this device, where people are saying, well, they should focus on it being a handheld or focus on it being a regular home console. Well, just focus on both. You can do it in an easy way, and that's the best way to do it. Hey, throw it in the dock, boom, it's on the TV instantly. What else do you want at that point? Well, you got to have the TV on, I guess, right? Well, unless there's some way to auto sync the NES dock into that. The specs, by the way, of the NES Classic Edition, the specs of the NES Classic Edition, there's like only 14 out there. The specs for the Nintendo Switch have been somewhat released. And it's interesting that Eurogamer came out with the specs, and I'll just go over it briefly just because this isn't that much of a meaty topic, just talking about the Super Bowl commercial that much, even though I think it's a smart commercial, and yes, they're advertising Breath of the Wild as well as Nintendo Switch. But according to the Eurogamer stuff, you basically have the same clock speed when it's in handheld mode, CPU clock speed versus handheld mode and in the dock, but the graphic GPU speed doubles or triples when it's in the dock, which makes sense because you want to limit the battery the battery usage when it's on the go, and if you had it to full graphics potential, it would drain that sucker like in an hour. So you can't have that. So it's interesting though that in this gambit that Nintendo's doing, where they are sort of forcing their own selves and their publishers to make sure that the games are running at the lower 720p resolution, but also at less graphics and at less intensity in terms of the graphics, to make sure it has to run both on the handheld mode and then when it's docked for the TV. So it's almost like they have to develop not two different games, but it's almost we're getting into that sort of same territory with the Xbox One and the Scorpio, and the PS4 and the the Neo and all that stuff. Wait, it's PlayStation, the Scorpio? I don't even know anymore. Xbox One S. So anyway, the whole point is that they're sort of tag teaming onto that, where these publishers might have to be very careful, and this might keep some publishers away because maybe and from early guesstimates, the Switch, at least when it's docked, is almost as powerful as like an Xbox One, or it's in that range. People are saying, of course, until you actually see it and see what the games are on it, you can't tell. But people are confident saying that, yeah, it's in that ballpark of an Xbox One, but it definitely ain't when it's out of the dock and when you're just playing it on the handheld itself. So that creates a problem then. It's almost getting back to that, sort of, we have to come up with a whole new version of this, they did with third-party games on the Wii. But let's hope that they can finagle it. Let's hope that you can get some games that are good enough to still be on the Xbox One, because they're going to be making games for the Xbox One for a few years, not just the upgraded versions. Let's hope that they can sort of get that onto the Nintendo Switch, at least in the docked mode, and then the handheld mode will look like an Atari 7800 game. That's what I'm guessing. But anyway, Super Bowl commercials, cool. I'm really curious to seeing the reaction from people who haven't uttered the name or word Nintendo since the 90s, and see what they think about it, about the commercial. But I think it's gonna do pretty well. I think it's straightforward. It shows the Legend of Zelda, and it shows that hipster 25-year-old in the future Nintendo dystopia where they kill everyone at their 30th birthday.